What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a live show. Almost one of the last, obviously, transfer live shows because the window shuts Friday, at midnight. So a good, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, a good 3 days to go in the transfer window with one main objective that can easily disappear really quickly. It could happen in the next couple of hours as well, both ways, and that's obviously Jadon Sancho. But we're going to talk about Jadon Sancho. We're going to talk about yesterday's game. We're going to talk about Colt Miners because he's finally here, or he's almost here. And then we are going to talk about the options we already have in the squad, considering we're still trying to get Jadon Sancho in, and as well maybe surprising him, because that was kind of the hidden message of the day, besides obviously the Sancho news. But before we do that, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, but especially hit the like button because it does help the channel out, well, massively, more than people could imagine. So click it now, and then we can talk. Hey Lucas, hey Jake, and hey Oliver. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a long time. So good to see you here as well. But yeah, before we talk about Jadon Sancho really quickly, let's talk about yesterday's game, because usually I put out a day after video, which I did record, but I didn't release because Colt Miners was a here we go, so I kind of skipped that video. So I do want to talk about yesterday's game as well, and what happened in the aftermath in terms of comments made by players, by Motta, Asani, from Sweden. That's nice. But yeah, yesterday's game. We won again, which is good to say. I know we did that last season as well. We started off pretty good, It wasn't as dominant, obviously, but we started pretty good. I think everybody remembers probably that Lazio game last season, where in that first half we looked good. We looked very direct. We had some issues in the second half, but we were like, okay, maybe this is something new. So I don't want to get the head of, like, say crazy stuff about we're back, we're this, we're that. But yesterday, I was impressed. I'm not going to sit here and say Verona are a rubbish team. I'm also not going to sit here and say they're a top team, but they are a decent team, And you saw that in the first 50 minutes. If they press and if they want to play, they can really, really hurt teams. The issue was for them yesterday that after those first 50 minutes, when we had some issues, and with issues I mean it was just we being extremely sloppy, But after we settled in, we kept them at bay completely. After the 3-0, they had one chance, and we finally saw Di Gregorio for the first time in about 180 minutes. But we kept them at bay, And that's credit to us, I'm not going to say that's because Verona are rubbish, because I've watched them against Napoli, and Napoli were not good. But still, that credit goes to Motta and the players, because if you deep it yesterday, everybody was going wild about the game and was excited and happy, and you should be. It was kind of the same theme as last season. The only difference was Di Gregorio in goal, which, well, obviously wasn't big any difference because he had nothing to do as well as a Como game. So forget about him. It was Cabal, and it was two next gen players. Nobody really, was talking about to get into the first team, last season as well. Bangula, Savona, and that's it, and that's the team that was out there. And we looked organized. We had an idea. It didn't look the same as against Como, because obviously we had one midfielder less, in my opinion, in that starting. Cambiasso slotting in the midfield a lot is not really natural. I think, passing wise, the way we move the ball, it looked different purely because Thuram's injury and the decision to not start Douglas Luiz. But still, we look at ease. We look like we have a purpose. We're clinical. We know when we need to attack. We know when we just need to keep the ball. We try to draw out teams, opponents to attack us, and then it all kicks off. Sometimes it kicks off in a kind of scrappy way, playing up from the back. However, we make up for it, in my opinion, with a lot of movement and a lot of energy. A lot of energy, trying to win that ball back. It's refreshing, and the team Like we know, it's no Gonzalez, it's no Colt Miners, it has no Conceição in it. Thuram only played one game, and maybe potentially Jadon Sancho. Who knows. But it's still lacking a lot, and we know that. And still, like Douglas Luiz is not 100% fit, so there's still a lot of margin to grow with this team. But overall, I thought was impressive. Somebody said, I could not. The last time and he's right. The last time we had a comfortable game at the Bianconeri feels like 1999 or something. Like it's going away to Verona is horrible. It's like going to the Marassi to play Genoa or Sampdoria. It's absolutely horrible for us all the time. You have always a crazy game in terms of you get dominated or it's all over the place. It's end-to-end stuff, whatever. But yesterday I thought I was impressed. I really was impressed, and as a fan, you need to enjoy it, and I definitely enjoyed it because watching 2 games in a row, watching 2 Juve games in a row, and not feeling stressed from minute 1 to minute 90 is good for everybody's mental health. I'm gonna say that. Let me read out a few chats really quickly. Wait for the Sancho chat. If you want to say something about Sancho, wait 1 second before I get to there. I wanted to go to the Roma game myself, but I unfortunately couldn't. Have a great time and cheer for all us. The passion has been officially reunited. Yeah, I'm going to the Roma game, so that this is probably not my last live. I will do a live on Thursday because Thursday is a Champions League draw. So I'll do a live in the evening to go over that, and then it's my last live for about a week. But I will put out videos every single day. But I'm out. I'm in Italy for a week, so it's gonna be looking a little bit different. I think there's a good transfer window next summer. We can focus on defense. Yeah, I mean, what we are doing right now is 2 summers in one, basically. And next summer, the way we set it up this summer is basically get the players out that you kind of failed to get at right now and fix that backline and maybe tweak stuff here and there. That's what it should be about next summer. Savona was a big shock, not gonna lie. Yeah, he was fantastic. I was slightly worried with Savona playing, but he proved me wrong. I thought he was fantastic. I really thought Savona was fantastic, and it wasn't a performance where you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna push it right now, generational. But in terms of like, oh my god, what have we seen from Savona? But it was mature. It was really mature. From minute 1 to minute 90, he did the job. And that's it. That's all I actually was asking for. Actually, for the first 3 games, considering how late we got our targets done, I was like, just get the job done. I don't really care how, and I don't really care how. We do that on Sunday as well against Roma, and people smash the like button because we only have 30 likes. But for Savona, I thought he was excellent. I really thought he was excellent. His first goal, happy, obviously, for him. And that's good. It's good to know that you have a player in Savona and also in Bangula, which I will talk about in a sec, knowing that, hey, they can do a job, They really can do a job, or more than just a job, and that's refreshing, and that's, that's good. That's just good. That's positive. Juve have shipped out 25 players, including Chiesa, excluding Arthur and Kostic. Yeah, we need to get rid of these guys still. Kostic, Arthur, they're still at the club, Again, wait with the Sancho chat really quickly. I'll talk about Sancho in a sec. This game shorter team isn't as bad as they played last season. Yeah. Remember, and you guys probably remember because I've said it every single day I came on last season. The squad we had last season was not amazing, but it wasn't that poor. It really wasn't 2 wins out of 12. It wasn't. I don't care what people said at the time. I said it. People who said the team is not good enough, and I was like, we are getting outplayed by relegation sides on a weekly basis. Stop the cap. That was a poor coaching job. And I'm not saying that based on these 2 games, we're winning the league and we're going to go undefeated and nobody's going to stop us. That's madness to say that, because we're coming from a season where we were rubbish. we're coming from a season where we changed, I don't know, 6, 7 players now. Like, it's gonna take time. You're gonna have very beautiful highs and very awkward lows. It's just what it is, and we need to accept that. I will accept that if I can see progress throughout 50 plus games in the season. But last season, that squad was not that poor. It was all about decisions. And yesterday post game, I heard the word trust about 10 times. From Savona to Locatelli to Cabal to Vlahovic to Mota, they all said the same thing. That guy in the dugout trusts us. Imagine, I was just imagining Locatelli doing that last season. Or everybody, popping the ball around. It would have been absolutely horrendous to watch if we tried that last season, because we played with no trust. Not one player last season I could single out and said, man, he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. Like, he's out there trying to prove himself. Nah. The only thing they were proving was, we're not playing for this coach. It's not going to happen, That was evident. And if you compare it to yesterday as well, it's evident these players are playing for their coach. They're playing. They all say the same thing. They trust us, and Mota said the same thing. I trust these players, and that's it. They're talented enough. I just give them trust. They go out there and they deliver. That's what they do. And that's what they did, So, simple tweaks. Not so simple, by the way. What we're trying to do is not simple. It's not simple. And at times you can see it goes sideways. And that's just really about, some lack of quality, Are you still crying about Toribo? Yes. I don't even know what that comment. Like, are you trying to prove a point because we won 2 games? I don't need a ball playing center back. Yes, we needed that. Like, I don't get it. The transfer window. I will do my ratings. I like what we did, but that doesn't mean we address everything. And I know we were not gonna address anything. We did more than I could have imagined. I just thought we were gonna address that back line as well, more so than put all the bags in the wingers and midfield basket. That's what I thought. And watching that game yesterday, how good it was as well, we need somebody who's decent enough on the ball playing center back or playing at the back, especially against top teams in Europe, teams that are going to press you. We need that. Otherwise, we will have some issues. Everybody knows that. That's why we were trying to sign Calafiori, and that's why we're trying to sign Toribo. Like, it's no secret. The club told us they were trying to fix that, but they couldn't do that, and for me, that's a bit frustrating. So, yes. And it's not about Toribo, it's just that profile. It could have been any name that was half decent. What I also wanted to say is that yesterday's performance wasn't groundbreaking stuff. I don't think anyone was watching that game yesterday and was like, oh my God, this is insane. This is like Pep, popping up for Barcelona out of nowhere, and it was Pep football. It's not that, by the way. It's not that. It's just that we came from absolutely nothing. We came from get those balls on the wings and cross the hell out of that ball. And if that doesn't work, Chiesa, please make something happen. That's what we were trying to do yesterday. How many crosses did we actually had yesterday? I know the goal was a cross from Savona, but we're not that team right now. And you can resort to those things, but if you want to be that team, then okay, fine. Be that team. Get Luca Toni 2.0 up there, get Peter Crouch out there, and just cross the hell out of that ball, and fine, if you want to be that team. But last season, we couldn't be that team. We didn't have the players for it. It was ridiculous. This season as well. But yeah. I wish you knew Italian. The interview with Savona and Dusan was awesome. Yeah, he just admitted that he just gave Savona the goal. I'm more shocked that Mota really quickly evaluate the youngsters who pass, instantly hit it right. Yeah, and that's about trust, That's about trust, basically. I don't get why people don't like Gatti, Bremer, and Danilo. They all 3 are beasts. Ooh. That's kind of pushing it, because I think Danilo is the opposite of a beast. I think Bremer is brilliant. I still am not convinced on Gatti. He played well the first 2 games. So I hope he keeps it up. I actually hope he does even better than that, but I definitely do not think Danilo is a beast. Actually, I'm still hoping the club is like Danilo is gone and we bring in a surprise new center back, in the last 3 days. I'm still hoping for that solution. It's obviously not going to happen, but I do not rate Danilo for 1 second. I don't. Our defense might not need big changes next year. Bremer and Cambias are solid. We have to see if any Kalulu, Savona, Cabal, Gatti explode this season. We need one. On the ball, they're not like they can explode in terms of defensively, but on the ball they are what like you cannot get better on the ball. If you don't have it, you just don't have it. Bonucci had it. Bonucci just had it. Chiellini never had it, but Chiellini was a better defender, like by country mile in my opinion still. But on the ball, it was not even close. And it's not that Chiellini got better with it throughout the years. It was just like he couldn't do it, so he couldn't do it. The first win in 2024, since January. I could believe it, because I've watched last season. I really could believe it. People smash the like button as well. Only 40 likes. Let's get to at least 95 likes before we end the stream. So hit the like button. Yildiz was benched after a few good games. Why is that? Well, ask Allegri. Ask Allegri. Just ask him. Let me see a few comments. Best Mercado in the last 10 years. It was just nice to see passing with purpose, even with the actual quality even when the actual quality was pretty bad. Yeah, the quality wasn't amazing or so, but again, I think missing Thuram kind of plays in, or like missing a real midfielder out there. I thought Fagioli was very anonymous, for the entirety he was on the pitch. Actually, at one point in the second half, he was getting subbed off, and I completely forgot he was playing. It's not really a knock on him, he didn't have a horrible game or so, but he was very anonymous, and I only think this is going to get better. If you add wingers in that team, like real wingers, if you add Colt Miners in that team, if Douglas Luiz is up to speed, all those things, it will get better, because you just chuck in more quality. So it needs to get better by default, basically, if you have a purpose you want to play with. Not just chuck them out there like we did last season and basically say, figure it out. That's what Allegri said. Figure it out in the last, I don't know, what did he say? 30, 35 meters? Figure it out. Well, we didn't. We absolutely did not figure it out. And he kept doing the same thing. I'm like, you need to figure it out because these guys clearly are not figuring it out. So it's on you. But this feels a bit different. I think Danilo is in his last season. He should be. Cabal praise and Cabal slander. It's like Locatelli all over again. Cabal has good potential. Great sleeper signing from Giuntoli. Cabal is stinky with the ball. Great athleticism. Yeah, on the ball he needs to improve. He definitely needs to improve. But I said that against Como as well. Like he tries to force certain passes, which he doesn't need to do. But defensively, and his engine is quite noticeable. It really is quite noticeable. Okay, let's talk about Jadon Sancho, because that's actually the title of the show. It's between us and Chelsea at this moment in time. And actually, if we are being completely honest, it's up to him. It's really up to him. If Sancho tells Man U, I want to join Juve, then they will make it work. If he's like, I want to join Chelsea, then they will find a way. I still cannot believe. I mean, we talked about poor business, but Chelsea going for another winger is insane. But Man U actually potentially accepting Sterling tops that. Like, it really tops that, because they are trying to move on Jadon Sancho, who didn't fit in, who didn't work out, hasn't done what he's supposed to be doing, and that's why they're trying to move on Jadon Sancho. And then you bring in the older Jadon Sancho, basically, ever since leaving City, has done squat, done nothing, and they're open to the idea of bringing in Sterling. On top of that, the wages, like, they want to get rid of Jadon Sancho's wages. Sterling is on even higher wages. So Sterling needs to be like, I'm going to cut that. I'm going to cut that in half. Will he do that? I don't know. I don't know if he will do that, but for Manu, that deal is insane. If they accept it, it's just, oh, we need to get. Like, it's a deal you do, and the next season you're like, okay, how are we gonna get rid of Sterling now? Now I'm not a Manu fan, so I couldn't care less, if they do that. At the end of the day, it's up to Jadon Sancho. If Jadon Sancho tells Manu, forget about that Chelsea thing. I'm not going Chelsea. I'm going Juve. So figure it out with Juve. They will figure it out because he's not part of the squad. They want to get him out. They will find a way to get that done. So Romano and was it David Ornstein and Fabrizio and Di Marzio can put out 1,000 quotes and news pieces. It's just, if there's no news on what Jadon Sancho wants to do, then there is no news at this moment in time, because Chelsea can be like, here is Sterling, and Man U like, we take Sterling, and Jadon Sancho can be like, I'm not going Chelsea. Now what? So all the reporting that, and actually I think, was it David Ornstein or was it Romano saying that Sterling didn't even talk with any of these teams yet, and actually, according to Italian sources, not even Jadon Sancho talked to Chelsea. So it feels a bit weird. It really feels a bit weird. Now, I've said, like, squad-wise, it doesn't make sense for Jadon Sancho to go there. It doesn't make sense for Jadon Sancho to stay in Italy after what happened in England, after what happened or didn't happen with Man U in England. However, if he is what we think Italians are, where like Italians are not leaving the league, even though Calafiori did it, then I need to say the same thing about Jadon Sancho. He can stay in London, where we kind of grew up. Why, like, on the same wages, even knowing that, there's competition, but you're in your city, you're on those wages, you're in your own country, you're in the capital. Like, it's not that you're on, I don't know, where you're playing, Newcastle, I don't know. You're in the capital. Why would you not be willing to do that? Yes, I get it. He has a lot of competition, but Jadon Sancho doesn't strike me like a player who is scared of competition, if I'm being completely honest. He went to Dortmund at a young age, so I don't think he's scared of taking on those decisions, From the outside, you can look at it and you're like, oh my God, you're an idiot if you do that. Just stay away from England and try to revive your career somewhere else. And Julian said he saw a report saying that he's open. Yeah, like, I wouldn't be shocked. Like, it would make a lot of sense, it would. It really would. On a personal level, it definitely would. It definitely would on a personal level. More so than going Italy. If he's thinking about his career, footballing-wise, then it's a lot of competition at Chelsea. They're all over the place, Chelsea. They have 1,000 players, so on. So, like, if you think about it, you might say, actually, going to Juve makes a lot of more sense. But, he's English. And we do the same thing. Italian players are not leaving Italy that soon. It's almost impossible. Well, I think that goes for English players as well. So, again, reports all over the place. But at the end of the day, if nobody's reporting what Sancho's decision is, we're kind of wasting our time here. And people smash the like button because we only have 60 likes, and we need to get at least to 95. So click that button now. It's 1 second, and it helps out the channel. But for Jadon Sancho, I mean, anyone, and I'm waiting for Pedula and Di Marzio and Isaac, and probably also Romano, and maybe David Ornstein to come out with, okay, this is what Jadon Sancho wants. Because that's the only thing that matters right now. The window shuts Friday, 1 second before midnight, basically. So we have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We have 3 days. This day is done. It's almost Thursday, Wednesday. So 3 days to get it done. I don't think it takes ages to get this deal done. You get that deal done even on Thursday. I don't think that's difficult. But that decision from Jadon Sancho probably needs to come by tomorrow. He needs to make that decision tomorrow. He cannot go into Thursday at midday and be like, I'm still not really convinced, because at that point I think we're completely out of the picture and the easy choice is Chelsea. So if he needs to make that decision before tomorrow night, actually tomorrow 6 o'clock, kind of night-ish. But it doesn't really matter what Chelsea want. it doesn't really matter what Manu want, is what Jadon Sancho want, because I think David Ornstein said that right now for Chelsea it's more of an opportunity. It's more of, we will take Jadon Sancho, but only if we can get rid of Raheem Sterling in the same on the same day, basically. That's Chelsea's mindset. The mindset of Chelsea is not, we need Jadon Sancho. It's like, we need Jadon Sancho to get Raheem Sterling out. So maybe that's an added thing, for you guys to say, okay, Jadon Sancho surely should be looking at that and be like, okay, they only want me because they need to get rid of Raheem Sterling. Is that the right decision for his career? Probably not, but, it's up to him. It really is up to him. What do you think is worse at transfers, Chelsea or Barcelona? Oh my God, I don't know. Probably Chelsea because they've earned the money. Low-key will accept Chelsea. I have that feeling as well. I think it's about Man U trying to raise the price by wanting more bidders. Well, it's not gonna happen because the bid is Raheem Sterling or the bid is alone with no option. There are no bidders. We're not gonna outbid Chelsea with what? We're not gonna add an obligation because Chelsea are offering Raheem Sterling. That's just not gonna happen. So that ship has sailed. With 3 days left in the window, there's no bidding war. It's done. We know you want Jadon Sancho out, and we're not gonna outbid a team. Like, it's just not gonna happen. It's up to Jadon Sancho right now. We don't need Sancho. Instead, invest in a center back. Yeah, it's too late to invest in a center back. Like, no team is gonna, like, which team is gonna let their main center back go with 3 days left in the window? You're gonna get another Kalulu type of situation, and that's not really calling out Kalulu, but like, you're gonna go for a solution where you're like, you're probably not gonna be here next season. It's not the idea. It's just like, just in case we brought you in. So if that was earlier on, then yeah, I 100% agree. But right now, I disagree. In terms of, I would love it, but I don't think it's gonna happen. We need to resolve the Chiesa case before he will be gone. Even if it's on the deadline, then he will leave. So you can kind of factor that in. Sancho will be the Mbangula what Kostic was. Will be to Mbangula what Kostic was to Ealing Jr. Not with Mota, Addy. Even if you bring in Jadon Sancho and it's a loan with no obligation, you have no real commitment. And if you can see actually this is not gonna work, and you bring in Jadon Sancho, but Mota sees in training this ain't it, then you play Mbangula. Like, it's that, and if he's better than Mbangula, then it is what it is, I want to win. So if that's with Jadon Sancho, if that was Timothy Weah starting and we win stuff, then cool. Go Timothy Weah. Arthur sell the club, yeah. Rank these three from what we currently need. Ball playing left center back, Sancho, backup striker, ball playing center back. I don't think it's close. I don't think it's close to me. Best choice for him is Juve since we play Champions League and FIFA World Cup. I don't even think it's about that. Like, I actually think about playing time. A different scenery away from England. Basically, that's how I'm viewing it. We need another striker, and that's about it. Yeah, but Milik is not leaving, so we're not gonna go for another striker. But Milik. He's staying, and I don't think the club has a massive issue with that, but he's out for like 3 months for something he shouldn't be out for 3 months, so it is an issue. It really is an issue, and he's injury prone. That's when at the start of the window I said, like, move him out. But we got to this point where we cannot move him out, so we kind of stuck with him. We are kind of stuck with him. I don't want our season to depend on whether Vlahovic is healthy or not. Milik, I think we can, like, if Bremer is injured, let's say Bremer and Vlahovic get injured, not at the same time, it's worse. The Bremer injury is worse, in my opinion, because I trust Mota enough to play with no out and out number 9. He did that, he did that. So I trust him more to fix that than to fix not having Bremer ready. That's my issue. And again, Bremer is not amazing on the ball, but pure defensively, the drop-off is bigger than, let's say, I don't know, Timothy Weah playing false 9, I think the drop-off, I think Mota can cover that up better than covering up missing Bremer, because I think the drop-off is big. It's massive if Bremer is out. So, like I said yesterday, you just need to pray every single day that Bremer stays healthy. He's gonna miss game, obviously. Everybody misses games throughout the season, and we play so many, so he will probably get benched in certain games. But if he's injured for a long time, we have an issue. Like I'm more fearful to, let's say, if you tell me you need to pick, Bremer is gonna miss 4 games or 5 games, let's say Monday football, or Vlahovic, I'm gonna say Vlahovic. And that might sound crazy, but I trust Mota more to cope with covering up, not having an out-and-out number 9 than not having Bremer at the back. That's how I view it. So that's why I was like, the center-back position is kind of a worry for me still. It really is. But you cannot say that, but then people will say, oh, but we signed Conceição and we signed another 6 players. And I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about that's an issue. You could have signed Kylian Mbappe. That's like, if you sign Mbappe and Messi up front, it doesn't make our center backs better. It doesn't make that department better. You can praise that you signed Mbappe and Messi, but the center backs are still not good enough. Or that department is still not perfect, So I don't know why people get mad when you say these things. We can play with a false 9 if needed. Yeah, that was what I'm trying to say. Nikoshira said earlier that we're going to try to find a cheap backup striker the last few days if Milik leaves. Savona can be a sub for Bremer. Oh, Norbert, you enjoy the moment, Norbert. You were on the Savona train, so go for it. People keep smashing the like button because it's not going up, and that's not good. So hit the like button. Let's get to at least 95 likes. Let me see. Nico Gonzalez can fill in for Vlahovic anytime. Sancho's overrated and overpriced. He couldn't make it to the England national team over the rest of the overrated Brits. Yeah. I mean, I like Jadon Sancho, but I'm not to a point where I'm like, if we don't get Jadon Sancho, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm not at that point. Because I never was... the last couple of weeks, I was never like, okay, we're going to sign 3 wingers. So that's why I'm very at ease with it. If you only sign Conceição or Gonzalez, and I was like, yeah, we need another winger. But right now, I'm at ease with it if you don't get Jadon Sancho. I am, because I never was going into the last 3 weeks of the window saying, okay, we need 3 wingers. I never was. So, yeah. And Bangala was a strong case of the match. Both matches, I've seen enough to know we don't need Sancho. Okay. Ali season prediction stream will be after Mercato ends with Julian or solo. It will be with Julian. It will be in the form of a podcast, and it will be after Mercato ends. And also not next week because I'm out. I'm in Italy next week. So the following week, we will record that podcast. Probably on a Tuesday, release it on a Wednesday. I need to ask with Julian, but that's how it usually goes. But let's talk about Mbangula, because that's kind of the flip side of Jadon Sancho right now. It's people saying we don't need Jadon Sancho because you have Mbangula. And I thought yesterday he was good again. I thought he was really good again. Yeah, I mean, the first center back sump is Danilo. For me, that's scary. I'm not going to lie. But yesterday in Bangula, I thought he was better than the first game against Como. And I know we got the goal against Como. And he had 2... he had 1 assist and 1 pen yesterday. But yesterday's performance was what I would expect from a player playing the wing position for about 4 years at a high level, Serie A level. He was extremely mature. He kept the ball well. He made the right decisions every single time. It wasn't all gun-ho. It wasn't like I'm just going to take on defenders for the sake of taking them on and losing possession and what so on. It was just very mature. And I was impressed. I really was impressed. And when he got stopped off, you can see Mota was impressed and just appreciated what he saw. Again, from somebody who kind of popped out of the blue. Nobody was expecting anything. Actually, nobody was expecting him to probably get a couple of minutes, in the first 2 games. But here he is starting and actually contributing. Goal and assist yesterday, won the pen. So that's about 4 goal involvements. That's impressive. That really is impressive. Now, the flip side is he's young. He's young, and he will have games where it won't all fall into place. It will be games where it might not look this good. He won't get the numbers and so on, so on. That's why people are like, yeah, bring in Jadon Sancho, because we play 50 plus games. Thursday, Champions League draw. 8 games. 4 home, 4 away. I think then the mood will change a little bit. If you get, I don't know, who's in pot 1, maybe somebody has that. You get 1 at pot 1. You get 2 out of each pot, basically. That's what I was trying to say. But you can have a Man City and a Real Madrid, and with some bad luck, you play Man City away, and you play, I don't know who's in pot 2, maybe Barcelona away. Like, it can get to that point really quickly, and are you then comfortable to go into those games saying, okay, I'm just going to use Kambula away to Man City, So that's why I think people are like, okay, we need more experience. And Jadon Sancho, yes, the last couple of seasons hasn't gone the way it should be going. When he went to Dortmund on loan last season, it's not that he set the world on fire, but you actually can see glimpses of the old Jadon Sancho, a very good Jadon Sancho. And for me, I really believe that, I said Kambula. Mbangula. Why do I say Kambula? Mbangula. But with Jadon Sancho, for me, it's more about, I really believe, environment. Because just a couple of months at Dortmund, was it February, March, like 3-4 months maybe at Dortmund, and you can see glimpses of the old Jadon Sancho. So for me, it's all about environment. Just look at our squad right now. Look at Locatelli. Look at Locatelli. First 2 games, I get it, it's 2 games. I get it, and you can say it's Como and it's Verona whatsoever. But we played Verona last season, and Locatelli was rubbish. Like, he was poor in those games, and those type of games. And yesterday, I thought he was excellent. So I think it really is about environment. It really is about trust, belief, set up, all those things. So I can see Jadon Sancho come in and do very well. I'm not saying waste millions and millions to bring him in. I'm not saying that. But I can see people saying, actually, or people who believe he can come in and do a very good job. I can see that point, and I don't blame people, Again, Mbangula did well. Will it stick? Who knows? Like, we don't know. But the fact that the club's pushing for Jadon Sancho kind of tells me that they want to be prepared for basically everything, And that's cool. That's fine. But you cannot waste money. You cannot invest so much money in Jadon Sancho, because, again, if it's an option, if he's like, I want to join Juve and it's an option, then fine. You can figure it out. If he does well and you're like, okay, this is the old Jadon Sancho, we brought him back, then fine, But you cannot be forced into signing him at the end of the season. Okay. What do you guys think will be the starting 11 for the season? Let's say Sancho is signed. Or we will switch it up. We will switch it up quite a few times. So I don't know. I really don't know. Because I don't think Mota is going to play the same 11 week in, week out. I think we will see subs on a weekly basis. I really do. So I have no idea. I do believe that what we saw backline wise will be the backline. I think it will be Di Gregorio, Cabal, Bremer, Gatti, Cambiaso. I think that will remain. Vlahovic will start because he's the number 9. And then it's pick and choose. It's pick and choose, Are you gonna bench this Locatelli? Are you gonna bench Thuram? What he showed. But you brought Koopmeiners in for almost 60 million, 52 plus 7 or so. So you cannot really bench him, really. But then again, you paid probably even more or the same for Douglas Luiz. Are you gonna bench him as well? Then you have Gonzalez, Conceição, Timothée Weah. Are you gonna bench him all season? If you bring in Jadon Sancho, you still have Yildiz. So am I gonna complain? Absolutely not. I'm not gonna play. The best players play. The players that make us win play. For me, it's that simple. And if Douglas Luiz doesn't play for 5 games, but we win 5 games in a row, I'm not going to sit here and say play Douglas Luiz. I'm going to sit here and say a bit worrying that he's not getting a sniff. What's up there. But if we were winning, I think nobody really cares. If we win 50 games this season and Douglas Luiz only starts in 15 of them, nobody will really complain. The only complaint maybe will be at the end of the season, it's like, oh, we waste money. Not the fact that he didn't play and we won. That's probably not going to be a complaint, but more so about, okay, that was a poor deal overall if you look back at it. But right now we have so many. Like, last season we were complaining that we didn't have issues. Subs. Like last season it was like, oh, it's Kostic coming off the bench, and we're not gonna change that game. We're not gonna change that game. Now you have options, so I don't like. We shouldn't be complaining. Like, it's not me that needs to pick the starting 11. It's Thiago Motta. It's his problem. It's not my problem. I don't need to sit there on not this Friday evening, but in general, in about 2 months, I don't need to sit at home and be like, oh my God, am I going to bench Douglas Luiz this week, or is Thuram going to be on the bench? Am I going to start Conceição, or what about Yildiz? Am I going to like, that's not my problem. That's Motta's problem, and he's getting paid for that. He wanted these players. He agreed to sign these players. So it's up to them. They need to figure it out. He needs to keep everybody happy. He needs to win. And if you want to be a top team, you need to have subs. My only issue is, quality-wise, depth-wise, we don't have that at the back. That is my only issue. That's what I've been talking about the last couple of days. That's my big worry point. But in the other positions, it's like, yeah, cool. We have depth. So, Thiago, figure it out. You're being paid to figure it out. You signed off for these players, so make it work. And I'm looking forward to it. And also gives us something to talk about, which is always fun as well. Yildiz minutes will shorten with Jadon Sancho. Well, I don't think anyone is getting full 90 minutes week in, week out, bar I think the center backs and the goalkeeper. I believe that Krul will overtake Gatti at some point. Maybe not. This version of Gatti, I don't think so. Honestly, it's a coach's dream to have great options week in, week out. Yes, and again, he's like. Otherwise, if Motta was against this, he would have told Giuntoli, hey, buddy, do not worry. You don't need to start wasting money and do crazy stuff, because actually I don't need those options. And Giuntoli probably would have told Motta, fine, good by me. Good for me. I don't need to waste money, waste time, and I can chill a bit. But the fact that we're trying to bring all these players in, it tells me it's a Motta demand. And he signed off to having a couple of options in the same positions whatsoever. So I'm not going to complain about that. Douglas Luiz is going to have to play regardless. You need rotation and fatigue. Yeah, I don't think he's up to speed right now. I think that's a bit clear to see. We need a Vice Vlahovic and a center back more than a winger. We have 5 already, and that's not counting Cambiasso. I agree. I do agree, Eddie, especially with that center back. The best teams have option. Look at Real Madrid. This will set us apart. Everyone is forgetting Atsic. Too bad he wasn't there for the first couple of games. Feedback from training camp is that guy is strong. Yeah, it is a pity, because he would have got opportunities right now. In these 2 games. Right now, it's probably a bit more difficult. So there's no, talks about a loan deal, so on. But I think he will play with the next gen. I think Atsic will get playing time with the next gen. So let's see. But he was tipped to stay in the first team because preseason was impressive according to the reports coming out, and it's a shame that he got injured. Otherwise, he would have featured, I believe, in these first 2 games. There are some juicy expiring contracts next year. We may sign someone on a free transfer or on cheap in January. Vice Vlahovic is Milik, and if he's out, it's probably it's focused on Saturday. Yeah, but Milik is just not fit, and he will never stay fit. Calafiori and perhaps a right back, hopefully Savona, the valves top, will literally allow us to challenge for the Champions League. Oh, that's a big shout. I'm not like Champions League draw. I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna be just excited to be back in the Champions League. But I'm not going to look at it and I'm like, we need to win it or so. We first need to get back up in Serie A. We need to set a respectable standard in Serie A where we are challenging and winning on a yearly basis, basically. That's what we first need to do. And then, Europe will, figure itself out, But we cannot assume that we are going to go extremely deep in Europe next season. Like, we can't assume that, Despite all the signings, it's still a complete new team and a new coach. And the players who were here kind of were traumatized because the last couple of seasons, not winning was normal at this club. It was normal. A lot of excuses, a lot of empty words. Everybody got used to it. So that also needs to be weeded out. And to do so, you need to win, obviously. But I don't expect us to win in Champions League. I have no expectations in the Champions League. It's just go out there, have some fun, and do not embarrass us, basically. I love the Mercato. It was splendid. 9 out of 10 for me. I believe you will challenge for Scudetto. We should be winning the Scudetto this year with this team. I would 100% agree with that if this was a second season. But this is the first season. A lot of new players, new coach. The quality is there. Maybe not at the back, in terms of overall depth or so. But yeah, if this was season 2, then, or if we are in February and we are 5 points clear, then I'm like, yeah, you need to win it, because you are here for a very good reason and the squad is good enough. But right now, Inter are still the favorites. They are the favorites purely because they are a well-oiled machine. They've done it. They know how they need to do it. It's basically as simple as that. Let's talk about our rivals a little bit. Milan is so predictable, going from the outside all the time. If you don't get one from the other side, I don't fear them. I think Milan's problem in the first 2 games is they want to attack a lot. But if you look at their squad, I think their squad will be doing much, much better if, and I know Milan fans will not like that, but I think that's how their squad is built. If you watch the wingers and the midfield, counterattack. Just play counterattack football. But they don't. They like to play expensive football right now, and well, it costs them. And it will cost them all season if they try to do that, in my opinion. But I think Milan have a decent squad. I think they have a very decent squad. My biggest worry is that Danilo possibly getting a lot of minutes. I don't want to make about Danilo again. We will see. We will make mistakes this season and drop points. It will depend on how many points Inter drops. Yeah, if you really want to go for a title, it will depend on how many points they will drop as well. 100%. Dougie needs to step it up a bit. I'm not sure if Thiago Motta is giving him some reality check or if he's just not ready because he's being involved in the Copa. He looks not ready. He doesn't look on pace. And I can be completely wrong, but just from first glimpses, he doesn't look like he's sharp compared to the players who have been there from day one. It's a bit off. Milan coaches more for a mid-table team, not Milan. Can someone tell me why Motta bought nothing and were trashed by Napoli? They bought some players. They got Junior now. Again, now it's all rosy. If let's say we don't win against Roma and there's an international break, it's gonna be interesting to see how this team will react. It will be more interesting. I hope we win. Also because I'm there. I don't want to see us lose or not win. But if you lose a game and you have a game straight after on the weekend, it's different. Now, if you lose that Roma game, you need to go on international break. A lot of players go on international break, and you need to come back and you need to flip the switch, And then it's like, it's not rosy, and it's 6 out of 9, and then you need to go away from home again, and it's like, okay, I don't even know who we play after international break, the first game. Somebody in the chat let me know. But that's going to be interesting, and hopefully we don't need to think about it. Hopefully we do not lose games, but at one point you will lose a game, and then indeed it's about, okay, how are you going to react? Or if we play a game and we cannot dominate possession and a team doesn't let us, they press us, but they press us in a much better and effective way, it will be interesting to see how we will react here, because now it went all easy. Credit to us, by the way. I'm not taking away anything. But it felt very easy. Against better opponents, it's going to be interesting. And yes, Roma have 1 out of 6, but they are a better opponent. I'm not expecting Roma to keep playing in this form. Even against Empoli away, yeah, that should be a win, to be honest. And then Napoli should be a win as well. But Roma are not going to play like they have been playing. They will pick it up because they have enough quality up top, especially, and more than enough, throughout the team to do much better than what they have been doing. I don't rate that midfield. I definitely do not rate that backline from Roma, but still, it's not that poor. And against Empoli, actually, to be honest, they did much better than than what the score sheet is showing. But again, the score, it's the only thing that matters. It's not like I don't know how many shots Milan had against Parma, but like the score sheet is the only thing that matters at the end of the day. We play Empoli away on September 15 and Napoli at home September 22. Roma's midfield is Como level. Ooh. I don't rate it. I don't think highly about them. Did anyone know this Cabal header in the middle of the park before the third goal, before Mbangula wins penalty? Cabal makes some mistakes, but I like his work rate and grit a lot, hoping he keep it up. Yeah, the mistakes he makes are in possession. That's it so far. But he looks like a player that you can mold in, not a world-class player, but a very, very effective player, which is good, because we got him on the cheap, and if he becomes that, then I'm perfectly fine with that. Inter still have the best starting 11 in my opinion. Unfortunately, I do agree. I agree, and that's mainly because that backline, but also that midfield is just gel. It's extremely well balanced. It is what it is. It is what it is. They are further ahead in their development than us, or in their process than us. Let me see if any news drop, because no news so far. So let's see if there will be a Jadon Sancho update. Actually, I will expect a Jadon Sancho update before tomorrow or around midday. And the update is the player made a decision to join Chelsea or Juve. Not the clubs are close to an agreement. I need an update on what Jadon Sancho wants. And I'm expecting that tomorrow around midday. 9 out of 9 would be fantastic. It really would be fantastic. It will be actually brilliant. 9 out of 9, considering the build, how the squad has been built for those first 3 games. It will be fantastic. Obviously, Gonzalez and Conceição will be on the bench for Sunday, maybe even Koopmeiners, but I'm assuming they're not going to start. So still, they came in very late. It's just vibing, and then it's international break, and Gonzalez is gone, and probably Conceição is gone, and Koopmeiners is gone. So Mota is going to see these players like a couple of days, and then they're gone again. So it's not ideal, but we know that. Best Serie 11, Di Gregorio, Cambiasso, Bastoni, Bremer, Di Lorenzo. Oh my god. Definitely not. Koopmeiners, Barella, Hakan, Leao, Lautaro, Gonzalez. I'm going to say a lot of fans will disagree with you, to be honest. But I see your point. Will you be here for the Champions League draw? No, because I'm at work. Or what time is it? Does anyone know when I know it's Thursday. Can somebody look it up for me? Once, let me look it up. I know it's on Thursday, but I'm probably not at home. Let me see. 6 o'clock. Oh no. I won't be home at 6 o'clock. I'm just off work 6 o'clock, and then I need to go to get my hair done because my barber is finally back from vacation after almost 2 months, as you can see. But I can't. But I will do a live later that night. I will do a live because I want to talk about the fixtures and probably the last deals. Because Friday the window shuts. I don't think we're gonna make a signing Friday if we do not know if it's going to happen on Thursday. I don't think on Friday we will have, oh my God, Sancho is happening out of the blue. If Sancho is going to happen, we'll probably know tomorrow. Thursday, we will know. Not on Friday. Like, the only things I think on Friday are going to happen is you get Chiesa done, you get Kostic done I don't know where, but you get Kostic on, and Arthur, for some reason, you get him done as well, you know. So yeah, not live. I won't be here either. Later to discuss the draw. Oh yeah, I will be live later. Same time or an hour later. It depends when I'm back home. But I will be live on Thursday to discuss the draw. Because I'm actually looking forward to the draw. I'm actually looking forward to it. Because last season we had one game a week and it was poor. So the only thing we had for an entire week was talk about the bad result. And think about the bad result. There was no, oh, it's a bad result, but we play again in 3 days. And if that doesn't go away, we play again in 3 days. It was like bad results, wait 7 days for another bad result, by the way. That was last season, and we had absolutely nothing to talk about, just complain and be frustrated. So I'm actually looking forward to that because we have some actual football to talk. By the way, people, we just hit 90 likes, so we're getting close. So let's get to 100 because the goal was 95, but 100 should be easy. So smash the like button if you haven't. Might be a surprise signing we didn't expect. Giuntoli style. Mirko Di Natale said that potentially a backup to Vlahovic, but that means Milik needs to leave, and I think he's injured as well, so I'm not even sure how you're gonna make that work. So I'm not really expecting a surprise signing right now. Which 4 teams from the first 4 pots do you predict we get? I don't know how the pot, because they're playing right now Champions League. No, aren't they playing Champions League qualification? I don't know the pots by head, you know. So I have no idea, and actually I don't really care. You know, it is what it is. Whoever we will get, we will face. We will face. It was hopeless last season. Oh, it was more than hopeless. It really was. Apparently, we can play teams from the same country in the group stage. Yeah, and you also get two teams out of each pot. And let's say you get 2 teams out of pot 1. You play one of them at home, one of them away. Like it's not that you can play 2 away games against 2 teams from pot A as well. So that also kind of helps for everyone, to be honest, not just us, even the little teams as well. Otherwise, it will be kind of suicidal for some teams. So not fair. The positive is the draw will not be done. Will be done by hand, because that took ages. It will be a computer doing it. Maybe we'll take something away from the excitement, especially in the latter stages of it. But right now, I think it's good because that means it will get done quickly, or should be get done quickly, and you will get the groups or the big groups and the teams you're facing really, really quickly, which is also fun as well. I hope we will avoid Leipzig, scary team. I play some Football Manager, which helped understand the new format. It's actually really good. It's weird, you know, but you need to get used to it. We all do. The actual Champions League schedule won't come out until a few days after Thursday. Yeah, the schedule, I know the schedule, but the teams you play will come out on Thursday. But I saw that, you know, the schedule, they said Monday, but I think that's extremely late Monday. Also, I think Friday is the Europa League and the Conference League draw. So I was assuming it was going to happen on Friday, you know. But the schedule doesn't really matter. I just need to see the teams we play. What impressed me more with Juve is lesser pack passes, more of forward thinking. Yeah, you know, and also it's like pressing. If you lose a ball, it's pressing. It's positive, you know, and again, it's not groundbreaking stuff. And against Verona, it wasn't, you know, tiki-taka and all smooth and all perfect. I get it, but that was expected. You know, it's early and not all the players are here. And then you had something, and then Thuram got injured again, you know. So it will need time. It will need time. And I don't expect us to play tiki-taka style of football, by the way. I'm not expecting us to do that. It's more so of just be in control. And we look to be in control most of the time, which is very positive. Yeah, people. Well, the schedule does matter. I don't want to Man City or Real Madrid around the time we play now. Yeah, I know the schedule matters, But on the day, on Thursday, I don't care about the schedule. On that day, on Thursday, I just care about who do we play. Let's talk about who we will face. The schedule will come out and we will see how it will fit. That goes for every team, you know. And there will be weeks where we're like, oh my god, it will happen. You can look it up already, you know, because the timing of games is out already. So the chances of us playing a Champions League top team and then a top team in Serie A are 95%, you know. So it's gonna happen. It's just which teams. Apparently, the group stage matches go all the way to January, a bit later than usual, but 8 games. So yeah. Have you heard about the Allegri Milan rumors? I saw it, but I ignored them for now. I really do. It's too early to talk about, and especially like for Milan, I don't care. But like, they brought a new coach. You need to back him. Like, you're not. It's media talk. It's media talk. They're not thinking about sacking him after 2 games. It's impossible. People, we're 3 likes away from 100. So smash the like button because I'm wrapping it up. My voice is almost gone, you know. But everybody, thanks for joining. Again, smash the like button. 2 more to go for 100. Subscribe, like, all that cool stuff. I might be back live tomorrow. I will 100% be live on Thursday. I might be back live on tomorrow as well. I'm not so sure. I need to think about it. If there's breaking news, I will. If not, I'm gonna prep a few stuff before I actually leave for the game. Otherwise, it's back live on Thursday to talk about Champions League draw and all those things. But right now, it's just wait and see what Jadon Sancho is gonna decide. That's basically the only point right now. What is Jadon Sancho's mindset going into these negotiations? Is it Chelsea or is it Juve? And until that news hasn't been cleared up, they can report whatever about talks between clubs. At the end of the day, Jadon Sancho needs to sign off to it. And this far, it hasn't been really reported what he actually wants to do. But again, that might be out tomorrow or even in a couple of hours. Who knows? And again, 1 like and we have 100. And appreciate the guy or the girl who's going to put us to 100. And that's it for me, people. Speak to you tomorrow or Thursday, depending. Ciao.